Have you ever been told to stop eating eggs? That they'll raise your cholesterol, clog your arteries, and harm your heart? Then one day, you hear the opposite, that eggs are a perfect superfood, that they protect your brain, your muscles, your eyes, even your memory. It's no wonder many older adults feel confused. For decades, the advice about eggs has swung back and forth like a pendulum. But here's the good news. Today, we're not guessing. We have facts, we have science, and we have answers tailored just for you. If you're over 65, your needs are different. Your body changes. Your brain changes. And what you eat matters more than ever. That's why in this video, we're going to give you the clearest, most practical guide to eggs you've ever heard. Not just theory, but real tools. So you can eat smarter, feel stronger, and age with confidence. Because the egg is not just a food, it could be your ally, or your missed opportunity. Let's find out which it is. Let's start with something simple. What exactly is inside an egg, and why should you care, especially after age 65? Because the truth is, this small, humble food carries a powerful nutritional punch. It's not just breakfast. It's brain support. It's muscle maintenance. It's immune defense in a shell. First, let's talk protein. After 60, your muscles naturally begin to shrink. This process, called sarcopenia, can lead to weakness, falls, and slower recovery from illness or surgery. That's why older adults need more protein, not less. Each large egg contains about 6 to 7 grams of high-quality, complete protein. That means it has all 9 essential amino acids your body can't make on its own. And unlike red meat, it's easier to digest and lower in saturated fat. Studies from the National Institute on Aging show that seniors who eat more protein experience better balance, fewer falls, and faster wound healing. So instead of skipping breakfast or relying on toast and coffee, starting your day with an egg can actually protect your independence. Next, let's talk about one of the most overlooked nutrients, choline. Have you ever heard of it? Most people haven't. But choline is vital for brain health, especially as you age. It helps your body create acetylcholine, a chemical messenger your brain uses to store memories and stay focused. Here's the kicker. Over 90% of Americans don't get enough choline, but just one egg gives you nearly 30% of your daily need. A 2023 clinical trial found that 300 milligrams of choline a day, about the amount in 1 to 2 yolks, significantly improved verbal memory in older adults. So instead of another supplement bottle, maybe your brain just needs a boiled egg. And there's more. Egg yolks contain lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 antioxidants that gather in your eyes and brain. They help protect your vision and may even reduce brain inflammation linked to cognitive decline. One long-term study found that eating just 2 eggs per day for 5 weeks raised lutein levels in the blood without raising cholesterol. Eggs also deliver vitamin D, which supports your bones and mood. B12 for nerve protection, selenium for immune strength, and small amounts of omega-3s, especially in enriched varieties. So instead of taking 5 different pills, you could just start your day with 1 egg. Affordable, easy to prepare, and packed with the very nutrients your body relies on more and more with each passing year. One small food, one big impact. That's why eggs matter after 65. Now, let's face the question that's caused decades of confusion. What about cholesterol? If you're over 60, you've probably been told at some point to avoid eggs entirely because of the cholesterol in the yolk. It sounded simple. Cholesterol is bad, and eggs are full of it. So eggs must be bad, right? But that's not how your body works. Yes, one egg contains around 185 to 200 milligrams of cholesterol. But here's what we now know from modern science. The cholesterol you eat has very little effect on the cholesterol in your blood, for most people. Why? Because your liver produces cholesterol too. When you eat more from food, your liver simply makes less. It balances itself. In fact, a large review from the British Medical Journal found no clear link between egg consumption and heart disease or stroke in healthy adults. Another study from Harvard backed that up, stating that up to 1 egg per day is safe, even for older adults concerned about heart health. So, if the egg isn't the villain, what is? Often, it's the company the egg keeps. Think about the typical American breakfast. Eggs fried in butter, served with bacon, sausage, and white toast. That's a meal high in saturated fat, sodium, and refined carbs, the real culprits behind clogged arteries. Instead of that, imagine this: a soft-boiled egg with sautéed spinach and whole-grain toast drizzled with olive oil. Same egg, totally different impact. The lesson is clear. It's not just how many eggs you eat, it's how you prepare them and what you pair them with. So, instead of fearing the egg, fear the frying pan loaded with butter. Instead of ditching yolks, ditch the processed meats and heavy cream sauces. Your heart doesn't just care about the egg, it cares about the plate. And when that plate is built wisely, eggs can absolutely be part of a heart-smart lifestyle, one that supports strength, clarity, and longevity as you age. Let's get even more practical. What if you're over 65 and dealing with high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, or a history of heart problems? Does that mean eggs are off the table? Not necessarily. This is where nuance matters. For most healthy older adults, eating up to 1 whole egg per day, about 7 per week, is considered safe. In fact, it can be beneficial, especially when the rest of your diet is balanced. But if you have diabetes or high LDL cholesterol, moderation is key. Some research suggests that eating more than 7 whole eggs per week, when paired with an unhealthy diet, may slightly raise heart risks in those with diabetes. But here's the thing. The risk isn't from the egg alone. It's from what surrounds it. Think greasy bacon, fried toast, processed meats. When those show up, even a healthy egg can get dragged down. So, what do health experts recommend? For seniors with diabetes or high cholesterol, aim for 3 to 4 whole eggs per week. And if you want more, add egg whites. The whites have 0 cholesterol, no saturated fat, and are packed with clean, complete protein. Let's make it simple. On Monday, have a veggie omelet made with 1 whole egg and 2 egg whites. Tuesday, toss a hard-boiled egg into your salad. Thursday, bake a muffin cup with 1 yolk and 2 whites. On the weekend, enjoy a poached egg on whole grain toast with avocado. Instead of skipping eggs completely, you're adjusting the balance, keeping the benefits while lowering the risks. And if you want to go even further, look for omega-3 enriched eggs. These come from hens-fed flaxseed or algae, and they contain healthy fats that support heart and brain health. So rather than asking, are eggs good or bad? A better question is, how many, how often, and with what? Because when you pair eggs wisely and eat them in the right amount, even with a health condition, they can still serve as powerful allies, not something to fear. As we grow older, something else changes quietly, but profoundly. Our brain. Memory slows. Focus drifts. Processing takes a little longer. That's normal aging. But does it have to be inevitable? What if a simple food could help you think clearer, feel more focused, and even protect your memory? Let's talk about how eggs support your brain. It all starts with choline. If you've never heard of it, you're not alone. Yet this little-known nutrient is essential for creating acetylcholine, a chemical your brain uses for memory, learning, and attention. Without enough choline, your mind can feel foggy, your recall slows, and over time, your risk for cognitive decline grows. Here's the problem. Over 90% of Americans fall short on choline. But just one egg gives you about 147 milligrams, nearly one-third of your daily need. Now let's go deeper. A 2023 clinical trial showed that adults who consumed 300 milligrams of choline per day, just 1 to 2 egg yolks, had significantly better verbal memory scores than those who didn't. Their brains, quite literally, worked better. So instead of reaching for another supplement bottle, maybe the answer is already in your fridge. But it's not just choline. Egg yolks are rich in lutein, a nutrient most people associate with eye health. But scientists have discovered something remarkable. Lutein is also found in the brain. In fact, it makes up a key part of the brain tissue involved in memory and learning. And here's what matters. The lutein in eggs is more bioavailable than the lutein in spinach or kale. That means your body absorbs it more easily, especially when paired with healthy fats like olive oil or avocado. Add in vitamin B12, and now you're really protecting your mind. B12 helps keep your nerves functioning, supports red blood cell production, and plays a key role in mood regulation. But as we age, many of us absorb less B12 from food. A deficiency can mimic dementia, causing memory problems, confusion, even depression. One egg provides about 10% of your daily B12 needs. It's not everything, but it's a reliable start. So rather than relying solely on pills or complicated powders, imagine starting your morning with a soft-boiled egg, sautéed spinach, and a few slices of avocado. Simple, nourishing, and brain-smart. Because the aging brain doesn't just need stimulation, it needs fuel. And eggs, when used wisely, deliver exactly that. Let's shift focus from your brain to your vision. By the time you reach 65, your risk of eye conditions like macular degeneration or cataracts rises sharply. You may notice it already. Difficulty seeing in low light, trouble reading small print, or blurry details while driving. But what if the solution wasn't a prescription, but your plate? Egg yolks contain two powerful antioxidants, lutein and zeaxanthin. These aren't just good for your eyes, they're essential. They concentrate in your retina, the part of your eye that helps you see sharp details and color. They filter harmful blue light, reduce inflammation, and help slow age-related vision loss. Now, here's the exciting part. The lutein and zeaxanthin from eggs are more bioavailable than those in leafy greens. That means your body actually absorbs them better from eggs, thanks to the healthy fat in the yolk. In one long-term study, people who ate 2 eggs per day for 5 weeks significantly increased their blood levels of lutein without raising their cholesterol, and it doesn't stop there. Eggs also support your immune system. That matters more than ever as you age. Why? Because your immune defenses naturally weaken, a process called immunosenescence. This can lead to slower healing, more frequent infections, and greater vulnerability to illness. The good news? Eggs are rich in selenium, a mineral that helps your body produce immune cells and fight oxidative stress. They also contain vitamin D, critical for immune regulation, and small amounts of zinc, which supports wound healing. Instead of reaching for multiple bottles of supplements, what if you could get those benefits from something already in your fridge? Boil an egg, pair it with colorful veggies, add a handful of berries, and you've just created a meal that supports your eyes, strengthens your immune system, and fits into any routine, whether you're cooking for one or for the whole family. Because aging well isn't just about avoiding decline. It's about protecting what matters with simple, smart choices. You know by now that eggs are packed with nutrients, but here's something many people overlook. How you cook your eggs can change everything. Not just the flavor, but the health impact. So, ask yourself, how do you usually prepare your eggs? If you're like many Americans, you might fry them in butter or oil, maybe alongside bacon or sausage. It tastes familiar, maybe even comforting. But for older adults, this method may be doing more harm than good. Why? Because frying at high heat, especially in butter or margarine, creates oxidized cholesterol, damaged cholesterol that may contribute to artery inflammation. That's a risk no one over 65 needs. Now, compare that to poaching an egg. No oil, no browning, just gentle heat and preserved nutrients. Or soft boiling, which keeps both the texture and the vitamins intact. Scrambling eggs with a bit of olive oil at low heat also protects the good stuff while reducing bad fats. So instead of cooking fast and hot, think slow and gentle. Let's take it one step further. It's not just the cooking, it's the company the egg keeps. Here's the difference. Instead of pairing eggs with white toast and bacon, try whole grain toast with avocado. Add in spinach, sautéed tomatoes, or mushrooms. These combinations not only taste great, they also add fiber, antioxidants, and healthy fats. Want a brain boost? Scramble eggs with turmeric and black pepper. Need energy? Try egg muffins with oats, flax seeds, and diced veggies. Watching your heart? Go for a boiled egg with leafy greens, nuts, and olive oil. The point is, your egg is only as powerful as the plate it's on. So rather than focusing just on how many eggs you eat, start thinking about how you cook them and what you eat with them. Because the right preparation doesn't just make your food taste better, it helps your body absorb the nutrients that keep you strong, sharp, and thriving. That's not just a meal. That's preventive care on a plate. You've learned what eggs can do inside your body. But here's a question most people never think to ask. What about how you store them? It might sound simple, but storing and handling eggs the right way makes a big difference, especially when it comes to safety, freshness, and even nutrient quality. So let's start with the basics. In the US, eggs are washed and sanitized before being sold. That removes a natural coating on the shell, which also makes them more vulnerable to bacteria if left at room temperature. That's why eggs must be refrigerated at 40 degrees Celsius or lower. But here's something you might not know. Avoid storing them in the door of the fridge. That spot gets warm every time you open it. Instead, keep them in their original carton near the back of a middle or lower shelf. That protects the eggs from light, moisture loss, and strong food odors. How long do they last? Raw eggs in the shell can be safely used for up to 3 to 5 weeks. Hard-boiled eggs should be eaten within 1 week. And once cracked, use within 2 days. Not sure if an egg is fresh? Do the float test. If it sinks and lies flat, it's good. If it stands upright or floats, it's time to toss. Simple changes. Big difference. Because even something as small as where you place your eggs can support your health and protect your peace of mind. Let's wrap up a few of the most common questions seniors ask about eggs, because clarity matters, especially when you've been hearing mixed messages for years. First, the big one. Do eggs raise cholesterol? Not in the way you think. For most people, the cholesterol in food has little impact on blood cholesterol. Your liver adjusts production depending on how much you eat. Instead of focusing on the egg, look at the whole meal. It's the saturated fats and processed foods that do the real damage. Second, should I avoid the yolk? No. That's where most of the nutrients live: choline, lutein, vitamin D, and B12. If you're watching cholesterol, try using one whole egg and adding a few egg whites. That way, you get the benefits without overloading on fat. Third, do eggs spike blood sugar? Not at all. Eggs have a glycemic index of 0. In fact, starting your day with eggs can stabilize blood sugar and support better energy, especially when paired with fiber-rich foods like oatmeal or vegetables. Fourth, can I eat eggs if I'm on medication, like statins or blood thinners? Yes, in most cases. Eggs are low in vitamin K and won't interfere with common medications. Just be mindful of how you prepare them. Skip the high-fat cheeses, heavy creams, or salted meats. Fifth, are egg substitutes healthier? Not always. Many processed egg substitutes have additives, thickeners, and artificial colors. Unless you're allergic to eggs or vegan, real eggs, boiled, poached, or gently scrambled, are usually the better choice. So instead of fear or confusion, you now have facts. Instead of guessing, you can choose wisely. And instead of cutting eggs out of your life, you can bring them back in with confidence, control, and care. You've just learned the truth about eggs, what they offer, what they don't, and how to make them work for you after 65. So let's bring it home. Eggs aren't your enemy. They're not a magic cure either, but they are one of the simplest, most powerful foods you can use to support your brain, your eyes, your heart, and your strength. Instead of cutting them out in fear, bring them in with purpose. Instead of frying them in butter with bacon, try poaching with greens, grains, and a drizzle of olive oil. Instead of wondering, is this safe? Ask yourself, is this smart? Because now you have the knowledge to decide. And if this video gave you clarity, confidence, or even just one useful tip, please share it with someone else who deserves the same. You're never too old to eat better, never too late to feel stronger, and never wrong for asking good questions. You've earned this wisdom. Now, let it fuel your next great chapter.